From New York, oh Lord, I'm excited. It's David Letterman's second annual Holiday Film Festival. With Michael J. Fox in The Iceman Hummeth, Diane Sawyer and a crowd to call my own, Paul Schaefer in the band and Terry Garr in You Kill Me, Jonathan Winters in My Day with the Stars, Chris Elliott in Television Miracle, and David Letterman in Feelin' in Love. And now, by the way, if you figured out this isn't L.A. law, here's David Letterman.
Thank you very much. Thank you so much. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. And boy, it smells like prime time in here, doesn't it? Welcome to our second annual Holiday Film Festival, and I hope everybody had a very nice Thanksgiving yesterday. Of course, at the Letterman House, it's traditional. We have the Swan Dinner. Boy. And it's fun to watch the little kids fight over the neck. But, you know, seriously, it's been said, ladies and gentlemen, that if you took all of the films ever made and stretched them out end to end, they would wrap around the Earth, the globe, 60 times. Of course, in order to do this, you'd probably have to get some kind of a permit. So we didn't do that. You know, in putting together our Holiday Film Festival, I came across a rather interesting statistic. According to Variety magazine now, 70% of all candy sold in motion picture theaters this past year were sold to Roger Ebert. Can you believe that? That seems like... let me tell you about the program tonight. We have managed to do the impossible. We have assembled here 6 original films, none of which now are based on a Stephen King novel. Can you believe that? Thank you so much. The people who did our films for us tonight, we have Michael J. Fox, also from 60 Minutes, Diane Sawyer, Jonathan Winters. We have a band video with Paul and the band and featuring the lovely and the talented Terry Garr, and also a film by our very own Chris Elliott. Well, that didn't seem altogether spontaneous, did it? Well, and now, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to tell you about the feature film, or the film that I'm featured in. And I think when you see this little film I've put together, you're going to see that it contains a lot of really what I do best, and that is overact. Seriously, in the past, you know, I have been reluctant to talk about my romantic life on our regular show, but recently I was involved in a relationship that affected me so strongly that I knew the only way to express how I felt was through my art. The film you're about to see is one I had to make as a form of therapy, but I think there comes a time when we're all feeling in love.
It looked like another boring Friday night. For months, Paul had been trying to set me up with the right girl. I never dreamed that tonight she would walk into my life.
A party for Schaefer?
Hi, Wendy.
Oh, hi, Paul.
Sorry we're late.
Oh, I just got here.
Listen, Dave. Wendy, this is Dave. And
Hi,
Dave,
David.
this is Wendy.
Oh, for me.
Hey, it's Hal.
Thank you.
Gosh, I wonder what he's doing here.
Who's Hal?
Oh, that's Hal Gurney. He's the director of the show. And one of Dave's closest friends. Come on.
Hi, Hal. Having dinner alone?
Dave? Oh, actually, I'm waiting for my wife. It's our 25th wedding anniversary.
Oh, congratulations.
Thank you.
You know, I don't think I ever met Mrs. Hal Gurney.
Really?
No.
Here she is now.
What a knockout.
My feet are killing me. Look at this place.
Dear, I don't think you've ever met Dave.
No, I don't think we've ever met.
A perfect
Hello.
woman, nobly planned, to warm, to comfort, and command.
What was that, Dave?
Wordsworth, Ode to a Woman with a Rose.
Oh, you must be interested in flowers. Has Hal talked to you about our garden?
No, he hasn't. Let me join you for dinner, and you can tell me about the garden.
But Dave, what about Paul and your friend?
Shut up, Hal.
Aphids, red spiders, Japanese beetles, slugs, we had them all. The slugs got into the corn, not the golden bantam, but the buttered corn. The corn turned out fine, though. But you know what I'm proudest of? My tomatoes.
Oh, please, tell me about the tomatoes.
Dave's really interested in his gardening, isn't he?
I've never seen him this way before.
Beautifully. Well, the tomatoes came in bigger this year than ever before, and there wasn't a single slug on them. The only problem is I had to give most of them away because my husband won't eat anything with tomatoes in it.
Your husband?
Yes, Hal.
Oh. Right.
Hal says he can't eat tomatoes because of his sensitive stomach, but I think he just doesn't like my cooking.
Doesn't like your cooking? Doesn't like your cooking? Damn you, Hal Gurney!
I better go talk to him.
Waiter?
Dave, what has gotten into you?
What's the matter with you? Are you blind? Hal is no good for that woman. I love her.
Love her? She's already married to Hal. They've been married 25 years. To me, they look pretty happy.
Oh, yeah? Well, Hal Gurney does not have a monopoly on happiness. I want my share. And I'll tell you something else. I don't care what it takes. I'm going to make that woman mine.
And have acknowledged your consent before us. Now, by virtue of the authority vested in me by the laws of the state of New York, I pronounce you man and wife. You may kiss the bride.
All right, I did it. I married Mrs. Hal Gurney. Yeah.
Yeah, you did. But at what cost? By stealing Hal's wife, you have alienated everyone on the show. Why do you think that nobody came to your wedding?
Paul, that's not true. Look, here's Biff Henderson, one of our stage managers. Hi, Biff.
Dave, here's a little gift from everyone on the crew.
Look, I don't care what you people think. For once in my life, I'm happy. Come on, honey.
Welcome to the program, boy. Honey, wake up. The show's on. I'm about to do something really funny. You're not going to sleep through the honeymoon, are you? Come on, wake up. Yeah, look, see what I did here? I pretended like the joke didn't work, and then I made a really goofy face, and I got a huge laugh. That was pretty good, huh? You know, now that you're my wife, you'll learn all the tricks that I use to make the show a big hit.
Doesn't the director have a lot to do with it?
Well, what is the deal? You've been talking about Hal all night. Just relax and watch the show, please.
Ladies and gentlemen, as you all know, I was married today to Mrs. Hal Gurney, who divorced our director so she could run off with me. Can we get a shot of Hal now in the control room?
Hal.
You know, I think we've seen enough. This is not going to work.
I know what you're thinking. I should leave right now and go back to Hal.
Oh, no. What I was thinking is, tomorrow when I get to work, I'll fire Hal.
No, I think my idea is better. Goodbye, Dave.
Oh, no, please, no. After Mrs. Gurney left me, I couldn't get her out of my mind. I was a wreck. I felt like I would never laugh again. Then one day, I happened to pass a movie theater. I saw what was playing. Chaplin. City Lights. Good old Charlie. He was my idol, and he was there to cheer me up when I needed him most. I had to go in. Of course, I'd already seen City Lights, so I went to see what was playing in Cinema 2. It was Porky's 5. And let me tell you, I never laughed harder in my life. The movie put the world back in perspective for me. I felt good about myself again. I could go on living.
We'll be right back with Michael J. Fox after you take a look at this, folks. Thank you. Thank you so much, and welcome back to Stonehenge, ladies and gentlemen. Our first guest this evening starred in the top money-making film of 1985 called Back to the Future. And if you were too cheap to pay the $5 to see him then, he's here tonight on good old free network television with an original film he's made for us called The Iceman Cometh. It's a pleasure to welcome to this program the very talented Michael J. Fox. Michael, how are you? Good to see you. Glad to see you, sir.
That was a funny movie.
Yeah, we're doing what we can. How are you doing?
I'm doing good.
The Iceman Hummeth. Tell us about this movie.
Iceman Hummeth. Well, it's kind of it's a comparison between a symphony orchestra preparing to do battle in its own sense, and a hockey team preparing.
Ready for a game.
Yeah, because I was trying to think, you know, when they said I had 3.5 minutes or whatever before, I actually went way over. Guys, get ready. I was trying to think of the best 3 minutes I could ever think of that I'd ever seen, and it was the Hearns Hagler fight.
Right.
So, I mean, it really was. It was the best.
You tried to recreate that.
Most entertaining 3 minutes I've ever spent. So, in a way, that's what this
similarities.
is.
All right.
And
So
it's weird and it's epic.
you want to take weird and epic? I'll take a look at this now.
Why not?
All right. It's the Michael J. Fox entry tonight. It's
Crank
called
the volume, guys.
The Iceman Hummeth.
Hey, Jack, you gonna kill him tonight? Murder him!
Good evening. Wait a minute. This isn't mine. This is too small. Sorry about the jock shot. Thanks.
Ladies and gentlemen, are you ready?
God, you know, violence is tearing the heart out of this symphony.
Yeah, I was gonna say I can't take the kids anymore.
You don't.
Very nice. Nice job.
Thank you.
How long did it take you to make this film?
Well, you guys gave me a lot of time. I found out about it about a month ago.
Yeah.
I guess wrote it about 3.5 weeks ago, shot it 2 weeks ago, and delivered it last week. And the actual shooting took 2 nights at an ice rink. We shot from 12 at night till 6 in the morning.
How did you get the actual musicians to fight?
Well, we showed up. It was amazing because these are musicians. A lot of them were in their like 50s and women and stuff. And I came up and they were waiting and they were really cold and they were starting to get a little grumpy. And they said, "What do we do?" And I said, "Well, really, what I want you to do is really beat the hell out of each other." and they like got into it, and I could tell them they were like picking out the people who they've been wanting to smack for a long time. And they were fab. I mean, if those were stuntmen, it would have taken like 3 months to work that thing out, and it was great.
Turned out very nicely. How'd you do on your budget?
Did great on the budget. You gave me, I don't know, we got $40,000 to make this. I came in at 32. We were going to have a bitchin' party, guys.
Nice job, Michael. Thank you very much. I appreciate all of your time. Michael J. Fox. We'll be back with Diane Sawyer, Jonathan Winters. Hi there. And welcome back to This Week with David Brinkley. Being that this is our first time in primetime television, we have decided to brighten things up by inviting our next guest to make a film of her very own. And on this network, of course, she doesn't have to worry about Mike, Harry, Ed, and Morley breathing down her neck. Ladies and gentlemen, from 60 Minutes, please say hello to Diane Sawyer.
I'm fine. How are
Great.
you? Thank you.
You enjoying yourself? Why were you interested in making this particular film?
You know, I think journalists who come on your show probably look at it as a kind of day off, like a plea of temporary insanity, or the equivalent there. But I have to tell you, I mean, I really didn't bring a film as such. What I brought instead is a kind of reverie, celluloid reverie, if you will. And it was inspired by a letter I got the last time I was on the Late Night Show.
These are fan mail of some kind?
Well, not exactly, but I'll tell you, it was a letter that caught my attention because it was on the official NBC stationery, and I'll tell you what it said. It said, "Dear Diane, is a guy who dresses up in Velcro suits and spends network time on stupid pet tricks funny? I don't think he's funny, yet every night in that studio they laugh and laugh. Without that studio audience, he'd be another Mr. Rogers. Wise up, kid," it said.
Wise up, kid?
Wise up, kid.
Yeah.
The familiar here. There's a story under your nose. And it was signed sincerely, Bob Wright. Does he work here, Bob Wright?
Bob Wright. I think he's the new chairman of the board. Came in with the GE, kind of running things now, yeah.
Well, I'll tell you, as I say, it caught my attention, but obviously it's not the sort of story that we do on 60 Minutes. So I set it aside, and still it kept haunting me. Until one night I had this dream that I had been assigned to investigate this compelling question. And I'll tell you, I knew I was onto something when I showed up right here, down in the lobby of the RCA building, and tried to get past the security guards to get into this studio to find out the answer to that question myself.
I see.
You just can't go through our security.
You got something to hide?
But you can't go through the security. You're not going through.
Had I really stumbled onto a cover-up?
Cover-up? Did someone say cover-up?
Finally, the guy who runs the NBC freight elevator agreed to talk.
They're his audience. I mean, they're really his audience. Come around to the side of the building after the taping and you'll see.
Sure enough, every afternoon the audience leaves the studio and goes straight home. Home, we heard, to Harrison, New Jersey. But when we went to Harrison, the local residents weren't about to admit
that the David Letterman audience is living in Harrison. And I
We're
just
not from
wonder,
Harrison. We came here to come to a restaurant.
We're meeting friends here at a restaurant.
Has the David Letterman audience ever tried to board this bus?
Well, this is my first trip over here today. I haven't seen anyone.
Why, did they do something wrong or something like that?
I'll tell you, they laugh at a lot of really unfunny things. Now, what do you make of that?
People like that should get punched.
The David Letterman audience is living right here in Harrison, right in this town.
Really? Never heard of them?
Never heard of them
I
either.
never heard of them.
You wouldn't be shading the truth on me just a little.
Oh, no.
Oh,
no.
of all people, we would never do that.
I would probably know about it, but I never heard of them living here.
Did this guy really think he could fool 60 Minutes?
Whoops. Sorry. Wrong story.
Call it a reporter's instinct, but something led me to this house on a quiet, tree-lined street. Ridiculous as it seemed, I was sure Letterman's studio audience lived here. Even my gaffer, Morty Gorowitz, sensed that our quarry was close at hand.
Hey, Diane, look at this.
We waited. Finally, the search paid off. It was the Letterman audience out walking its dog. We followed them to the park. They relaxed with a little frisbee. We even caught them practicing a stupid audience trick. I was ready for the confrontation.
All right, it's what everybody really wants to know. Why do you laugh at David Letterman? You being paid? Somebody pay you to laugh at David Letterman? Well, tell me this. When did you start laughing? When was the first time that you remember laughing at David Letterman? Oh, come on, you all. This hasn't happened to me since about 2 weeks ago in Terre Haute. Asbury Park? Billings, Montana!
For the first time, I knew how Letterman felt. It was so easy, the mindless laughter, the eager applause. How could I possibly go back to 60 Minutes without them?
Boy, did you ever wonder why some people always have to be the center of attention?
Well, that was very nice. Yeah. Did you enjoy doing that? Was that fun for you?
It really was. As I say, it was a kind of holiday for a holiday weekend.
Now, did you have trouble getting those people to cooperate?
Well, I think I mentioned before, one of the most fascinating things to me is the absolute politeness with which people treat ridiculous questions. And we walked up in Harrison, New Jersey, we walked up to these people literally on the street and asked them this absurd question, and they all treat you as if you're rational.
The sisters were very nice.
That's right.
And what, since it is kind of the holiday season now, what was the line the guy sitting on the step said, somebody like that ought to be punched?
Yes, that's basically
and that
what
was
he
cute.
said.
I enjoyed
In fact,
that.
you know, the only people we worried about getting cooperation from were the security guards. Namely, we wanted to make sure that they felt free to be as rude as they would normally be, we assume.
Those were the actual guys who work here at NBC?
The actual guys,
How did
yes.
you do that?
So I have to say it was a bit of a trick. We called over before we came and we said, this is the head of security at NBC and there's a crew coming over from 60 Minutes. Do not let them in, whatever. Don't let them upstairs.
Thank you very much, Diane. Come back again. We certainly appreciate it. We'll pause here for station identification. We'll be back in time. Thank you very much. Welcome back to our holiday film festival. It's just like a theater in here. It's remarkable. Even the floors are sticky. You know, in 1979, our next guest starred in a motion picture called The Fish That Saved Pittsburgh. With a credit like that, we all agreed that Jonathan Winters was a must for this program. He's actually one of the most talented comics of all time and a legend in this business. Folks, please welcome Jonathan Winters. You know there's no one there.
Oh, there'll always be someone there, David. Don't let him kid you. 2 more treatments and out.
Tell us what your film is and how you got the idea for it.
I have no idea.
Okay.
First of all, you were very kind to come up with some money. And as the others said, we had a little budget, and we went right to work and came up with an idea. A young man that I've been working with, Peter Ferrara, and he said, I had several suggestions which were tossed out, and understandably so, I won't go into those, take up time. We came up with a wax museum, not the one in Hollywood directly, but the one...
Buena Vista, isn't it?
Excuse me, I just caught cold in the parade there. I just can't believe it's Thanksgiving. I was having a little fun, and I bit the big rubber one.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of the kids booed me. No. Bad man, bad. But, any rate.
So let me get this straight.
Yes,
you bit the big rubber one.
I bit the big rubber
all
one.
right. Okay. Now tell us about the film.
Well,
here.
we went to Anaheim, which was fun, and at least a day's tour down there, and we went to the Wax Museum.
Yeah.
And, of course,
many... tour.
Tour, where many people were coming through anyway, regardless of race, color, creed. And so we set up our little fun cameras, and what you're about to see are people like Rod Steiger, that was in Dr. Zhivago, and Gary Cooper.
Stars.
And,
Major motion picture stars.
Stars in wax.
Okay.
And, we couldn't get the real ones because they're dead.
Yeah. So, the name of the film, Jonathan Winters, in My Day with the Stars.
My Day with the Stars.
Okay, let's take a look.
Should be a lot of fun.
Well, you know what? I just bought this car from that guy. Ran over him. I'm sorry. Come on inside. I want you to meet some of my friends. They've been standing around all day, part of the night. Attractive bunch of people.
Allow me, comrade, to introduce myself. I am Alexov Boryashka. These are my cookies. I have a place not far, remember, maybe 200 kilometers, you know, up near Petrograd. And I have Alexov's cookie place. How about a cookie? Just one. Incidentally, 4 cookies for the 1 horse. We're not going to ride it, comrade. I want to eat it. There's no Doris Day here. Get it? What are you looking at? Everybody is always staring. The wolves. I love to mock them. They won't bother me because I have cookies. Yes, a rose. A rose is a rose is a rose. My father used to say that. He wore a dress similar to yours.
She seems so still.
They
confirm it. They want to attack you. They feel that you're the big white person, and once they get rid of you, they can get Wyoming back for sure, Colorado, and tight standby on Iowa.
Okay, lady, let's go over it again. As I understand it, you want to go down to 1216 Silvano Street. I never heard of it. I've lived in the... Oh, gee, what a... Ooh. You know, you people get into drugs. I don't know, you got into potato chips. You got into guacamole or whatever that stuff is. Oh. I've never seen eyes like that except on a ping pong table.
gets guys like you? Well, I understand that at noon they'll be coming to get me.
About 13 guys Sunday a week beat up on me in the mail car. That's where I work. So all the ribs on this side were fractured, and these were actually taken out. And I just don't know whether to, send to the VA or what for, artificial ribs.
I'll be there.
Incidentally, you need an extra gun? I got one. I've never had a chance to use it. I've been held up 46 times. So my standard pose is this.
Well, that was my day with the stars. Thanks for joining us. Did I say that was my day? Imagine that whole day being wrapped into 3.5 minutes. That's all they'd give me.
My standard pose is this.
Jonathan. My Day with the Stars, right? Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Jonathan Winters, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you, sir. Have a good Christmas. Nice to see you. All right, now we would want to welcome a wonderful actress and a fine comedian and our beloved and popular late-night band leader. That would be, respectively, Terry Garr and Paul Schaefer. Kids, come on out here. Paul?
Don't mind if I do.
Nice to see you.
Yes, sir.
Have a seat,
Nice to
kids.
see you. Boy, oh boy. Oh, welcome to the show, folks. Now, you guys, Paul and Terry, you made a little video for us, didn't you?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's a story of relationships.
Yes, it is.
It's called Stop You Kill Me.
Stop You Kill Me, and it means essentially...
It means the imbalance, the yin, the yang, the push, the shove of relationships between men and women. And in order to get this quality, we filmed the whole thing. The entire thing was filmed on a boat. Mm-hmm. We had makeup boats come by and body makeup boats come by. And we would get off and...
I don't think so.
I don't remember that
Let's take a look at the video. The original song, written by Paul and the band.
Written by me, Sid McGuinness, Will Lee, and Anton Fig all together. We wrote a little thing called You Kill Me.
It's our music video for tonight's program, You Kill Me, Paul, the band, Terry Garr.
I was into you, and you were into me. Every day was sweeter than before. I wanna be loved, and you give me more. Love can be funny, sometimes you just can't see what's right for you. Just too much for me. Too much for me. Yeah, you kill me. Got to do the things what's fair of me. I don't know why you do it, how you put me through it. Stop.
You kill me.
They say that everything what you say or what you do. You know it's true. After all, it's still just you and me. Been around the world, nothing left to see. But verdict's in, defendant tried. I find you guilty, convict you of love, homicide. Cut and dry, can't be denied. I can't let you slide. Yeah, you kill me. Got to do the things what thrill me. I don't know why you do it, how you put me through it. Stop.
You kill me, all right.
You
Kill
yeah,
me.
you
Oh, you kill me.
yeah, you yeah, you
Let's get right on.
Be killing.
All right, welcome back. I want to take a second here to thank Ted Turner for coloring all of her films tonight for us. Our next guest is what the TV Guide would call a semi-regular on this show. You know him as any one of a dozen running characters, all pretty much identical. Ladies and gentlemen, say hello to Chris Elliott. Hi, Chris.
Hi.
Nice to have you here.
Nice to be here, Dave. Thank you.
Now, name of your film is A Television Miracle.
Right, that's the name of my film. You know, I've come on the show for the last five years as a number of different characters, the conspiracy guy, the regulator guy under the seats.
Right.
But I don't think, I'm fairly new to the business, and I don't think the audience is that quite familiar with me.
Okay.
So what we did was a little background film on
It's
me.
an introduction to you with a
little
lot of
introduction,
background.
a little history of who I
Okay.
am, and I think you'll all enjoy
Okay,
it.
it's called A Television Miracle.
That's right.
February 12th, 1982. New York City. A celebrity-studded crowd turns out for the premiere of a new performer on the popular television show Late Night. This night, they will witness a miracle. Join us now as we go behind the scenes and experience together the magic and the mystery of Chris Elliott, Television Miracle.
But until that wonderful and glorious day, I'll be right here, watching you, making your life a living hell.
That always cracks me up. Hi, I'm George Takei. You know me as Helmsman Sulu on Star Trek. On board the Enterprise, we encountered life forms of many different kinds, but none as astonishing as a computerized marionette that acts as David Letterman's comedic foil.
I worked with Elliot in Arthur Miller's stunning production of Death of a Salesman at the Winter Garden last year. It wasn't till a week after the show had closed that a friend of mine informed me that Elliot, this magnificent, feeling performer I so admired, and with whom I'd spent many hours on stage and off, was not human.
That's it. Well, not human, perhaps, but certainly alive. Bringing Elliot to life is a job of its creator, Gail Nelson, who has been designing and building puppets since he fled his native New Zealand some 30 years ago. You did a lot of work in films and then television in the early 60s.
Yes, you know, I designed the hook for Captain Hook in the original Broadway production of Peter Pan. That was really my first special effect. Of course, Shelley Winters was mine. But that one never really caught on. I don't know why. I guess I made it a little too big. It scared people. Chris is kind of a conglomeration of many ideas, actually. For wisdom and humanity, I molded his eyes after Einstein. His thick blonde hair is identical to that of George C. Scott. And for his chin, I did something special. I used this golf club, which actually broke when I was sanding it, but I used it anyway because I like the concave effect.
Very interesting. Very interesting.
There we go. 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and we're back. 3, 4.
Rehearsal is a painstaking and complicated procedure. Every facial expression and body movement must be memorized and practiced to timed perfection.
Well, kids, good work. I think
The cramped quarters often take their toll on the operators,
I want some air.
Oh, sure thing.
I want some air.
most of whom were recruited from a unique unit of the Israeli Tank Corps.
Boston, listen, here, let me cool you down and put on the air conditioner.
That's a good one, Dave. That's a good one, Dave.
Each of Chris's lines must be created by engineers in the studio.
That's a good one, Dave.
First, the voice of fight promoter Don King is recorded,
That's a good one, Dave.
and then modulated
That's a good one.
That's a good one. And mixed with other sounds until it matches the creator's vision.
Dave. That's a good one, Dave.
On the soundstage, Dave and the animatron are about to shoot a dramatic fight scene for an upcoming episode of The Fugitive Guy.
Oh, there's a fight going on. You see? Go ahead over. Give it a try.
Real fight.
Just 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Quiet! And action!
You don't want to smoke, do you?
Oh, Chris is burning! His head is burning! Jerry, in here! On 3! 1, 2, 3! What the hell is that? The thing blew up. That could have killed me. That thing is not safe.
The scene is not working. The host refuses to work any further with a full-scale animatron, but the crucial fight sequence remains to be filmed. With time running short, the decision is made to do the scene another way. First, close-ups are isolated and shot using individual hydraulic limbs.
One more time.
Then for the long shots, the entire studio is reproduced in 1/6 scale, and miniatures of Dave and Chris are carefully photographed, employing a technique called stop-motion animation. With careful editing, image enhancement, audio sweetening, and sound effects, the illusion of an actual fight scene is flawlessly recreated. In this scene, as in every scene, you would swear that Chris Elliott is a living, breathing person. Whether as the fugitive guy, the regulator guy, the conspiracy guy, or the guy under the seats, or just plain Chris Elliott. This versatile machine makes us laugh, but also makes us think. And that makes us feel good about ourselves. It boggles the mind. Perhaps in the future, all performers will be like Chris. For the sake of the show and all mankind, we can only hope so. I'm George Takei. Until the next time, Warp Factor 2.
Folks, nice job, Chris. Thank you very much. And that makes us feel good about ourselves. We'll be right back. All right, thank you very much. Well, that's it, ladies and gentlemen, our second annual Holiday Film Festival. I want to thank Michael J. Fox, of course, Diane Sawyer, Terry Garr, Jonathan Winters, Paul and the band, our announcer Bill Wendell, and, of course, Chris Elliott. Thank you very much. Have a good weekend. Good night, everybody.